back to the Acoustic Shop channel. Jeremy, we're here to talk about guitars.
We talk about other instruments, but today, in this video in particular, we're going to be talking about this really cool dreadnought that you got in your hands right now.
It's a really good idea. We're going to talk about this heirloom dread right here. Absolutely incredible, quintessential bluegrass dread. What do you think about, the boutique world and high-end, vintage style guitars? Dana always shows up.
Especially in the bluegrass market. I mean, there's other guitar stylists out there and some really great guitar builders, but in bluegrass, in that boutique build, you got out there in the West Coast, Santa Cruz.
Yeah, Richard Hoover. Yep.
And Dana Bourgeois on the other coast. These guys are kind of the ones that are really known for their quality of their vintage and just boutique builds.
Old school vintage builds. Yeah, I agree with you. I think what Dana really brings to the table that nobody else does is this idea of a really refined and kind of articulate version of a vintage guitar. Those of you who have played vintage guitars know there's obviously a certain character to those, and it's not exactly what he's trying to really rebuild. He wants to capture that essence, but refine it, make it a little bit more balanced, make it a little more comfortable. One thing that's always been known about rosewood dreads is they're hard to mic. Mm-hmm. They always have been. They're tough to get in front of people and not have kind of boom and roar and all that. And Dana has, I think, masterfully tightened all that up and made it a whole lot better.
He really took kind of an engineering approach to guitar and voicing it. I've watched some of his videos where he talks about the process he uses to voice tops. And he told us a story about how he really kind of perfected that in the smaller body guitars. And then Tony Rice came to him and said, can you do this same thing where the notes are even the entire way up and down the neck, but make that work in a dreadnought? So kind of like threw down the gauntlet for Dana to see if he could replicate that tone that he gets in his small body guitars in a dreadnought. And I think he's kind of become known for being able to do that. Like I said, he's not that real big boomy thing, but it's mic's better, doesn't get that feedback, and it's a much more even spectrum across the entire fretboard.
I would agree with that. And this guitar right here kind of knocks me away with that. It's not boomy, it's not overly roar, type of guitar, but it is loud, it is punchy, it has just definition all the way across. This is an heirloom dread, has the vintage style herringbone on it, a AT Adirondack spruce top, which is the aged tone, as well as the aged tone finish, which is a thinner, lighter finish, yet giving you a strong and very durable finish at the same time. Done with animal protein glue or hide glue. Like I said, it is a torrefied Adirondack spruce top on Indian rosewood sides and back. This is going to give you that refined vintage tone. So again, recognize that I've had a lot of people asking me, why a Bourgeois guitar versus a Boucher versus a Thompson versus a, Santa Cruz, Collings. Here's the deal, guys. Those are all fantastic. I had somebody recently go, well, which one's better? That depends on what you're after. They have all refined a sound that is their own, and that is the gene. You don't want a Collings to sound like a Thompson. You don't want a Thompson to sound like a Bourgeois, because that's what defines them as builders. They've learned to find the sound, the thing that they do. And for me, what I kind of tell people that the Bourgeois sound is a refined vintage sound. It is tamed, it is controlled, it actually makes sure that every note is very precise and individual.
And that's probably why a lot of these like super hot shot fast players, the guitar flat pickers that just do a million notes a second, really kind of lean towards these. It really helps those notes stand out in clarity and definition, and I think it's kind of become known for that sound.
Yep. And like I said, especially for miking, I think that's a really good thing to have. Some of the details and specs on this, like I said, we have a torrefied top, Adirondack top, rosewood sides and back, ebony bridge, ebony fretboard. It is their compound radius, which is kind of a unique thing that all the Bourgeois have. Inch and 23/32 nut width. Again, if you've never played a Bourgeois, it kind of falls in between the 11/16 and the inch and 3/4. Kind of, if you're kind of not sure what that would be,
right
it's
in
a
the
good place to do it. So, Waverly tuners on all the Bourgeois guitars. A really nice deluxe specific style TKL case that also comes with them. Again, well done, well fit. I've watched the team in Lewiston, Maine. They are all working under that Dana tutelage. They all know exactly what it is that he's looking for. It does have his neck joint system, which is also really cool and unique, and also going to help you in the long run for less maintenance. And expensive maintenance too. So
what would this guitar be for, you think? More of the bluegrass flat picker?
I think this is for that flat picker that's wanting to step up their game. They want to have something that is stage ready. They're not quite at the point of a true vintage guitar, but they want something that is going to be studio ready, stage ready, and also perform well in a jam session area. That's not, this is not going to be your Canon knock everybody out of their seats kind of guitar, although it will have more than enough volume and power. It's not designed to just be a wall of sound. It's designed
if you're more of a rhythm player only, then maybe this wouldn't be specifically for you, but somebody that is a mix between rhythm and a lot of lead playing, flat picking would.
I would probably say so. I find this to be a very cool. It reminds me a lot of the Bourgeois I have got recently. It has a lot of the same sort of characteristics, and like I said, I'm really kind of honing in on that sound that Dana's kind of working on.
So, yep.
Yeah.
So John, great sounding guitar. Love listening to it and talking more about it. I think getting to go up to the factory tour up there was an eye-opening experience because every step of the way, every different station, they are so prideful of the care and meticulous approach that they take to it, whether it's picking out the woods, voicing it, bracing it, all these steps that they do along the way.
Yeah.
They are just, each one of them, passionate about their step in that process. And it is showing up in the consistency of the build of the guitars and the consistency of the tone you get out of them. So very impressive example of Tony's mission Tony's,
I would agree with you.
Dana's
We actually
mission
have
there.
another video, speaking of that factory tour, that we can pop up after this, and you can stick around and see. It also mentions the new Touchstone guitars, which is a really cool collaboration between Bourgeois and Eastman guitars. If you'd like to see more about that, that'll be showing up very shortly. What we'd really like to hear, though, is what your thoughts are on the Bourgeois sound. Boutique guitars in general, that'd be really cool to tell us a little bit about. And what you think of this guitar. I think it's a great piece, again, for that flat picker that's just wanting to elevate their game that much more. This would be a really cool guitar. So tell us what you all think. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and tell all the folks all about the Acoustic Shop and what we do here, because we like to do it.